And good morning, it's the weekend, and so we're just going to head down to horse riding. We've got the dog in the back. Already had my morning coffee, so you missed that bit. So there's a 0.3% contraction of the economy in March. Obviously that goes against one of Rishi's 5 key things that he wants to do: reduce inflation, get rid of the boats, which is a problem they've caused in the first place, but also to have growth fiscally, and we've not really done that. And also because we're a digital marketing agency, one of the first things that we see is people pulling back. They pull back on marketing first, and then when things are going really well, marketing is usually one of the first things that they then plough money into. And we've definitely noticed that people have been pulling back on marketing. Our revenues are down and our customer numbers are down at the moment, so we definitely feel that, and it's one of the things that we keep an eye on in terms of what's going on in our industry, because it gives us an insight into what's going on into everybody else's industry. And right now there's definitely a contraction, not just in the economy but on people just spending money. I reckon if you look at restaurants, their revenues are down. I reckon if you look at clothes shopping, their revenues are down, except for people at the very bottom, companies like Primark that have very cheap stuff. They usually go up because people want to treat themselves. And also stuff at the very top. I was reading about Porsches, and to buy a Porsche there's like a waiting list for a particular car. It's because right at the top end and right at the low end, those companies actually do really well. Lipsticks, for example, do really well because women want to treat themselves, but they can't afford the more expensive things. So they go and buy a £15 lipstick, for example, or a £25 lipstick, and that's their little treat. And so that's quite interesting, really. And so when we're looking at businesses to buy, and we are looking for businesses to buy, we're like, what sort of business are we after? And actually, something around the middle, or something that's luxury based, is actually not for us right now. Something that people can pull back on, the middle class can pull back on, and like digital marketing. That's probably not where our next investment money is going to go. Likewise, the wealth at the very top has increased significantly, because we're in times of high inflation, and during times of high inflation, those that own assets, they make more money. We've got assets, we're making more money on the assets, but we're not making more money on the services that we provide. So now it's like, okay, what assets can we look to purchase for, pennies on the pound effectively? Which businesses are struggling right now because their marketing is not very good, and they're the businesses that we can buy and add more value to. So it's quite interesting how all of this is intermingled with each other. So you've got on one hand a contraction of the economy. People are like, oh, that's really bad, and yeah, that is really bad, but some industries that's not so bad. So which industries are they? I mean, if we take something like housing, is housing really bad? Like, are people completing right now? And people are definitely completing, but I think there's less sales going through. And it's kind of this knock-on effect, isn't it? So then you have less houses completing, then there's less valuations, then there's less mortgages, then there's less estate agents. And then because there's no estate agents, or a reduction in transactions, there's a massive knock-on effect for that as well. So everything has a knock-on effect. You not spending money right now is having a knock-on effect in the economy. You giving pay rises to people right now is having a knock-on effect in the economy. But you have to give pay rises. So we just have to go through this period. It's just peaks and troughs. It is what it is. We've got one now, we'll have one again in another 10, 15, 20 years, and we'll have one again. And depending where you are in that cycle, on this trough, and depending what business you're in, is going to determine how well you're going to do, whether you're going to survive or whether you're going to fail, and so on. So you've got to find yourself into a business that can get through this. Now, for us as a digital marketing agency, we just batten down the hatches. We've reduced our costs as much as possible, and we've got some clients that actually probably won't leave, and so we're just able to continually get through this current recession that we're clearly in, as far as I'm concerned. I don't really need the numbers. I don't need the 0.3% to tell me if we're in a recession or not. I already know that we're in a recession, or we're having recession-like consequences to what our actions have been for the last 10 years, or the governments that we've chosen, shall we say, for the last 10 years. These are the consequences of those actions, and we don't need the official recession figures to be able to tell us what's going on out there. Now, how long will this last? Is it 6 months? Is it 12 months? Is it 3 months? I don't really know. I can't really see us getting out of this for the next 6 months. So we need to batten down the hatches for at least 6 months. But while everybody else is battling down the hatches as well, there's some opportunities out there. So then we're like, okay, what are those opportunities? What are the businesses that we can go out and buy? Maybe for pennies on the pound. We looked at one business, Subway franchise, and it was like 80 grand. And actually, when we looked into the actual numbers on it, we would have got that business for free, right? We literally could have got the business for like no money down, because it had loans, it had all sorts of bad stuff. The directors weren't making any money. Of course, with the agent who was selling the franchise, it looks amazing, it looks like a glorious business, but actually when you take a peek behind the curtain, you see actually what's going on in that business. It's a dreadful business. And that was a Subway franchise, and there are more franchises or more businesses that are also looking dreadful, but we're like, actually we can add a lot of value. Like Subway, can we add more value? Probably not really. But there are other businesses out there right now that are not marketing in any way, shape or form, or their marketing is just dreadful, and we can actually have quite a big impact on that. And that's one of the things that we look at, is what's their marketing and how bad is it. Then is the rest of the business actually working okay? And if it is, and we can add more marketing to it, then that for us is a recipe for success. Anyway, we are nearly at horse riding. We'll speak to you soon.